up, guys? Welcome back to the channel here. This video is a little different. I'm not including it in the, I guess, as a full episode of video game hunting. I do have some footage for you, but not a whole lot. So what happened was, just give you a little bit of a story first. This thrift store that I've gone to before, called Curley's. They usually have stuff that's from the PS2 era, GameCube, and Xbox, mostly PS2, to current stuff, PS3, Xbox 360. Well, not too many Xbox One or PS4. I haven't really found anything like that, but some PlayStation games, but not a whole lot. I found some good stuff there, but haven't found too much in the way of like retro video games or consoles. Well, one time they called me and said they had a Super Nintendo with a bunch of games. I had looked it up. First I thought it was gone. I was upset. Then I came back and they decided to put it on eBay. But then they didn't decide to put it on eBay because they called me a few days later and said, "Hey, we got the Super Nintendo games here." Now, most of them were sports. I think it had pretty much every single Super Nintendo sports games that there ever was. And it had some good ones like, Mortal Kombat, Test Drive, decent titles, but nothing like Earthbound or Chrono Trigger or anything like that, or Secret of Mana or whatever. That's what I was hoping for. But obviously, no. But still, he wanted like $100 for the whole thing, and I was like, not really all that interested in it. That's when I found that PS3 a few episodes ago. Well, then, flashback, like a couple weeks later, he calls me again and says he had a bunch of video game stuff. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's got Sega stuff, Nintendo, everything. It was a really awesome store. Apparently this guy had this stuff in a storage locker, and I think he had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 original Xbox consoles just stacked on one top of one another. This guy was hoarding this stuff. And a lot of it was in decent shape. A lot of it was in not so great shape. But anyway, I went there to, this is from all my finds from 2 visits there. So they got some stuff. I spent a good amount of money, and then I came back like, I don't know, a few days later, maybe a week later. Yeah, I came back by like a week later, something like that. And anyway, had some more stuff. So this is all the finds. So first, we're going to go ahead and get into the accessories, and we'll throw in some footage here in a little bit too. But yeah, just wanted to kind of explain the situation. It's not a traditional video game hunting episode because it's just this all one store, pretty much a single haul essentially. Definitely interested in this guy here. It's really neat. I don't own an Odyssey yet, for sure. I don't know if I'll be able to find any games. Hopefully there's some games in here for it. Some mice and PlayStation controllers. They're handy. I forgot all about it. Alright, so First up, accessories. Well, I'll show these. I don't know why, but Got some miscellaneous like cords and everything that were in there, like Genesis, PS1, AV cables, power cords. Nothing too much to write home about. A lot of the cables were twisted around and everything. I had to unwind it and really work on it to try to get some of the stuff that I knew would go with some of the stuff that I got. Also found actually two of these original Nintendo controllers. No dog bone, but original NES controllers, which is cool. And even found, which is cool. I already have one of these, but an NES Advantage. And I will say, I found a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo. They had a few Nintendos there, but some of them are in various states of disrepair. This one was kind of the best one that I chose. It worked, and I already traded that away, as well as the Super Nintendo, for some stuff that you'll see in soon, in another video. But anyway, yeah. So, that was traded in already. But I got some more stuff to show you, so don't hang tight. Alright, so then let's show the Xbox stuff here. Found off-brand Xbox controller. The nubs are all worn off here. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of just threw it all together. This is a Duke controller. Didn't realize until after though that the nubs were worn off this one too, but it's still playable. It's kind of, yeah. You see, it's very much broken up there, but it is a Duke controller, so I never had a Duke controller. A hamburger, if you will. Alright, then moving on to PlayStation 1. Did not have this color of PlayStation 1 controller. So, I believe it's PlayStation 1. No, PlayStation 2, excuse me. PlayStation 2 controller. It's, I guess like an ice blue. Didn't have that color, so that's really cool. Again, I don't know what in the world these people did, but really wore the nubs out of it, but hey, at least it still looks like it's pretty tight and responsive. So still haven't tested everything out yet. I still have to clean everything. It's so much stuff. And I picked up not one, but two regular gray Nintendo 64 controllers. Cool stuff. I'm just gonna throw all this stuff into this bin here. And then I found purple one. It's got some play in that, but yeah, hopefully it still works. And then some Sega stuff. Couple of Sega Genesis controllers. I'm happy to get a couple more of these back in the collection. I actually gave a couple away when I did the trade for DuckTales 2. And I had a couple, or one good one left, and then one that was like, well, a turbo, I guess. It's still good, but I wanted some regular Genesis controllers, so that's good. And then, I guess this is a Sega Genesis gun controller, excuse me, not GunCon. But it has the Sega Genesis attachment, so never seen that before. So that must be like an off-brand or something, but cool. And then, of course, I've seen this one before. I'm very happy to finally get this one. I was going to buy it at Second and Charles for like, I don't know, 15 bucks or something. But it came in the lot here, so I got one of the Konami guns here. So, very cool. It has a name. I can't remember. Oh, there it is. The Justifier. There you go. So I got the Justifier. And then this was, I guess, one of the coolest controllers. I actually thought it was the console first. I looked and looked and hoped to find the console. Never did. But it's still really cool. It's the trackball controller for an Atari 5200. So, yeah, very cool. Alright. Next up, let me show a couple boxes. Okay, so I'm in this corner of the room right now, where my PlayStation and Xbox games are, and some other stuff, my Loot Crate boxes and stuff here. So, yeah. It's just so much stuff, it's so much to move around. So we'll just go ahead and just stay over in this corner. And, hey, there's another perspective on my room. Alright, so, let me move that back a little bit. First up, and keeping in line with the Atari 5200 stuff, that's why I was really hoping to get the console, because it actually had the box there. I don't think any of the inserts or anything are in there, but the box is in there. Let's see, what is in there? Yeah, well, one of the foam inserts. Well, yeah, both of those are in there. So it had like this kind of these foam inserts in there to kind of keep the console stationary, which is cool. But unfortunately, no console. The box has seen better days, has some wear and everything. But yeah, this is really cool. So hopefully one day I'll be able to track down an Atari 5200 to put inside of it. And talk about another cool box that is a little beat up. I tried to kind of straighten it up a little bit, but yeah, I need to get the styrofoam for this so that I can put one of my extra N64s in there. But there it is, the Atomic Purple Edition N64. Obviously, it's got a little bowed out and everything. It was actually completely like crushed, well, folded up pretty much when it was in there. At least down here and everything, obviously. But when I found that, I was really happy to get that. I was like, that's definitely coming home with me. Alright, so those were the two boxes that I picked up that were really cool. So, next up are the consoles. Really cool stuff. Again, as I said, I found a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo. They were missing various pieces, so I completed them with stuff that I found at Second and Charles, and ended up trading it back into Second and Charles. But anyway, first up, first thing, I have a 2 indigo and a silver. Now I have a black GameCube. There was a game inside this, but we'll show that in a second. Well, nothing major. But got that, which has all the hookups and the black controller to go with it, so awesome. Picked up a couple of Sega items here. First up is a Genesis Model 1. They had a couple Model 2s, but I always loved the Model 1. This is what my neighbor and I played when we were growing up, so picked this up. I already have one, but yeah, I'm holding on to this for a specific YouTuber. Alright, then, I don't even know what the next coolest item is. Alright, we'll do this. Alright, so this was really awesome to find in there. I've never had one of these. It is a Super Nintendo control deck. Yeah, it's the mini version, so that is really cool. No hookups though, unfortunately, but still have yet to test it out. And then this was really cool. This was on the second time there, so now I have another console. Don't think I have anything for it, but it's a beast. And I tried to clean it up, and I ended up kind of starting to take some of the paint off, which really sucks. And it needs a little bit of repair here, but it is an Odyssey 2. It has a controller here, which is cool. And, well, 2 controllers. And it has the power supply somewhere. Oh, yeah. I think I showed that inadvertently earlier, but there it is. There's the Odyssey 2 thing. So, that is very cool. Oh, and it has the part that connects to the back of your coaxial cable there. So that was pretty wicked fine right there. In words of Canadian Retro. And then I found not one, but 2 Sega Saturns, which I've run across one out in the wild, and that was traded to Chris Miller, who, if you haven't checked out his channel, obviously go check out his channel. Link below. Awesome YouTuber. He does pick up videos and live hunting footage. Awesome guy. He's also started doing live streaming, so definitely check him out. Anyway, so that was the first one I ever found out in the wild. The one that I started off with was given to me by my buddy Steven. And then this is the third Saturn that I found. This is a Model 2, but unfortunately no hookups for it. Well, it actually has power. I have a power cord for it because it's easy to find for this, but I need to get the AV cable. And then this was even better. A second Sega Saturn. And this is a Model 1 Sega Saturn console. So if you notice, side-by-side comparison here. This is a lot of weight, by the way. Oh my gosh. Model 2, rounded buttons. Model 1, more ovular buttons. The open hatch is small, well, longer, not as wide. Yeah, essentially it's the same. I mean, it has different kind of lines going on here too. You can see that, and it looks like the opening is a little bigger on this one, on the Model 1. But anyway, trying to see if there's any other differences. Oh yeah, front. On the Model 2 it says Sega. On the Model 1, doesn't say anything on the front. Both say Sega Saturn on the top though. But yeah, those are essentially the two major differences between the two consoles. But anyway, and it's very clean, as you can see. It's much cleaner than this one. This one was out, and this one was in this bag. It came with the power cable that's in there still. Ironically, again, it didn't come with an AV cable, but it did come with the Model 1 Sega Saturn controller. The Model 2 one, I have one, but it doesn't have these big gray shoulder buttons on top. A lot of people don't like the Model 1 controller as much as the Model 2. It feels a little smaller too. Maybe it's just me, but anyway, so that's the Model 1. Oh, and I forgot one more console. Unfortunately, it's missing the battery pack, but I found yet another Game Boy Color lime green edition. But yeah, missing that. But at least I don't see any signs of battery corrosion. Haven't tested it out yet though, so need to. But it's got a very clean screen, so that's pretty cool. So I have one more console that I forgot in this video, and that was the Sega Genesis Model 3. The Sega Genesis got smaller and smaller with each iteration. Games go in there, power on, has that orange button indicator to let you know it's on, reset button. Just got simpler, just like every model of console that has come up with a slim version. So this is a very slim version of the Sega Genesis. I had been looking for this for a while, and I'm so happy to own one now. So I have one of each Sega Genesis console variation. The Sega 1, 2, and 3 models. So, awesome. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video, where we'll see the games. See you later.